Okay. And Larissa is your sister?
Yes.
She is your biological sister? You guys have been... All right.
This was her intake picture?
Hmm?
This was her intake picture?
No, that's just her driver's license.
I was about to say she's pretty happy.
All right. Well, what can you tell us about your sister? About what happened here?
I don't know too much on what took place with Jordan at this particular moment, but over the years, I lived with my sister.
How long did you live with her?
Off and on. I mean, over the years, off and on.
Okay.
We were always like this.
Always close?
So, I would catch her disciplining the kids, not just specifically Jordan, but all of them. She'll bust Mariana in the mouth or the nose to the point where...
Mariana is the oldest?
Yes. Like to where she would start bleeding and stuff like that.
When you say bust her in the mouth, what do you mean?
She either had a smart mouth or, pow, or whatever, I always told her, don't do stuff like that. You hit them on the butt, whatever, Over the years, I've called kids several of times on my sister.
DCFS?
Several of times.
Okay.
I
When
just
do you
left
think was
there.
the first time you called?
Around 5-6 years ago.
Okay, so it's now 2017, so back in 2012?
Mm-hmm. I've always
The
called
first
kids
time
on
you
my
called
sister.
DCFS, what was it for?
Just the abuse.
Okay.
And the different men coming in and out of my sister and the kids' life.
And just too many men?
Off of the chat line.
When you called it in, what were you told?
They would look into it. They would come out. They would send somebody out. Her case always gets closed. Or they talk to the kids and they lie and stick up for it and always close.
The kids would lie?
Yeah. She'll make sure her home is clean and all that crap. Just to, make a show, a cover-up.
Since 2012, how many other times did you call?
I called like 5 or 6 times. I lived with her April 20th. I'm going to say this last incident, okay?
April 20th?
April 9th, my baby was born. I had a premature.
April 9th of what year?
Last year.
2016?
Yes. She told me at this time, Christopher Rodriguez was also living in her home. She told me she didn't care if my baby died.
Why did you have that conversation?
Because I was always asking her, well, you don't want to come up and see your niece, because she was in the incubator. She was 4 months delivered. 23 and a half weeks, And I'm like, you don't want to go see your niece or any of that? Her vibes and all that just was changing, officer, just changing. Never knew who you was. This is the lady, this is the girl that I would leave my 8-year-old son with when I couldn't do it anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you lost your 8-year-old?
No, I have my 8-year-old, but I'm saying when I'm stressed out, this girl has more patience than anything in the world, okay? She takes care of my son.
So there were times you left your own son with her?
Yes.
Okay.
This man killed my baby. I know he did, and she's sticking up for it. She's part of it.
Who killed the baby?
Christopher.
So you think Christopher
Jordan killed my baby. I know that for a fact, unless she beat him to the pulp. And you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't there. I don't know what the things are or any of that. I don't know how my baby is. But when I was living there, like I said, okay, April 28th, I moved out that house.
Okay.
When I came home from the hospital of having my daughter, I moved out that house to my nephew standing in the corner.
Why did you move out?
Because we were confrontational.
So April 20th of 16?
Yes. You wish my baby would die. You say that about your own niece. You both are a piece of shit.
Were you living there with your boyfriend at the time?
Yes.
What's your boyfriend's name?
Christopher Jones.
Christopher what?
Christopher Jones.
Spell the last name.
Jones.
Okay. White male, black male?
Black male. Okay. Along with my 8-year-old son, Javier Rodriguez. But see, while I was living there, I had an open case.
With who?
With however you say it, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because when my daughter was born at 23 and a half weeks, she tested positive for marijuana.
The baby did.
The baby did. And she's medically fragile, of course, you know. So I had an open case. They went to Larissa's house to make sure the setting where my son and we was up in the attic. That big room up there. We was up there and they said everything was fine for the time being.
So your baby tested positive at what time? What month?
24.
24 months old?
No, 24 weeks.
24 weeks.
She was premature. She was.
So DCFS was monitoring you, or did they have custody of the kid?
No, she was in the hospital. I had just had her.
Okay.
So they was monitoring my son because now that she's in the hospital, I have my son at home though. So they put me under court cops, weekly coming out, making sure my kid was good.
Okay. So you were just under
plan.
invest for testing
Right.
positive.
I had a case plan to show that to make sure my son goes to school every day. You know, stuff like that. Make sure he ain't got no marks or none. I've never had any phone calls for a DV or any of that to them. It was just marijuana.
So you moved out because you two couldn't get along?
She told me she wished her niece can die. She was jealous. That when I had my premature, I had help. I had open cases. I had people that was willing to help me. I'm sorry that my man stuck around and his family and the support. I'm sorry. I didn't ask for it premature. I was living with her when my water broke. Like, I didn't ask for none of this. She felt that I have more support than she does.
Okay.
But I was there when he was born. You know what I'm saying? I help you with him. For you to be jealous. So fine. I said fine, we'll move out. We ended up going to live with his mom. And I told Larissa I was coming back the next day to get all my stuff with the truck. She was not letting me in that house. I had to call the police. The police came and said, no, she's going up to get all her stuff.
When was this?
On the
April?
April 28th. She's like, no, she's going up to get her belongings.
You called the cops?
Yes.
And
they helped me get my stuff out the house.
And that was 2016?
Yes. And that's the same day that my nephew was in a corner with a sock in his damn mouth. And as I'm walking out the door, because the police are outside now. They let me in to get the thing. They're sitting in their car. As I'm walking out the house, I said, that's abuse. That's neglect. And I kicked one of the puppies because they were ankle biters.
Hold on 1 second, okay? Give me 1 second.
Did they find him whole? Can somebody please tell me something?
We don't have any answers yet as to why he died, how he died. We are working on that.
I know, but was he whole bodied?
We don't know anything else yet. That's all I can tell you at this point. Okay. I'm not showing any reports of the police coming to the house on April 20 something.
Yeah, they was there. They helped me move. They got me in. You can ask her the story. My sister's out there. She knows the story.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
If it wasn't on the 20th, it was close to it on the 20th, okay?
Okay, hold on.
Because my water broke April 9th. I went to Metro. I signed myself out to Fairview because Metro kept telling me my baby was going to die. So I just signed myself out and went to Fairview. My baby was born April 19th.
Okay.
So it was in the 20s.
You called the cops because you wanted your property.
Yes.
And you said you seen the baby do what?
The baby had a sock in his mouth standing in the corner, holding rice bags with a sock in his mouth.
Holding rice bags in his hand?
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a corner?
Yep.
Which room?
Downstairs in the living room.
And you told her it was abuse?
Yep. Karen Custer is my witness that this boy had a sock in his mouth.
Who is?
Karen Custer, the one I was calling out yesterday that came.
Karen, C-U-S-T-A-R-D?
Yes.
She's seen this also?
Yeah, she lived with my sister as well. We all moved out because we didn't like the abuse that was taking place. Every friend that my sister had.
Was she with you on that day that this kid had the sock in his mouth?
Yes. She was the one that stopped me in July 31st at my court date for my daughter and told me my nephew was barely alive in the closet.
She did this. She said this to who?
She told this to me.
Okay.
And as soon as she told me, I called my sister devastated out there, and she called the police and called kids on my sister.
Just so we're clear, your sister, she's telling us that the problem is that you're upset with her because you let a child come into this earth and you had drugs in his system and she didn't want that, so she made you move out of her house.
No,
and you're
honey.
mad about that.
No. I've always been stable, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have income. That's not the case.
Okay. Well, she's saying, though, at that time you were down on your luck. You were living with her because you guys didn't have anything, and you got angry.
Everything that was in her house was mine. The police officer seen that I emptied out her house because that was all my furniture and stuff.
Okay. All right. I'm
She
just telling
is
you what
a
she's saying.
schizo liar.
Okay.
She's trying to save her ass, trying to get off on pleading insanity. Her ass will pay for this.
All right. Give me 1 second, okay? All right.
Officer, she
Yes.
is full of shit.
Okay.
She really is. Like she's mad at me because I've called kids on her several times throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She's mad at my other sister out there for calling kids on her throughout the years because we know what she's all about. All she does is find these men off the internet and bring them into her home and in front of all her kids the same goddamn day. This man could have really killed them all.
Okay. Did you know Chris yourself?
I met him when she moved in. When the day I moved in her home, mind you, the day I moved in her home, she was kicking out Jake, the other baby daddy, and a couple hours later, this guy she met on the internet and he never moved out since he moved in. Then next morning, I went to check out my babies upstairs. They was all in the same room in bed with her and this guy.
Okay. So she met him on the internet, is what you're saying?
On the internet.
Okay.
All her boyfriends are met on the internet. All her friends, I have Nicolina that's willing to come down and testify. I have Mari Cruz, which is all her best friends that could prove to you that I'm not lying. Okay? That's why she's mad at me. Because I won't let her do what the hell she's doing to them kids. When I was told the day that I moved out of her home by Karen Custer that she beat that baby with a bat.
Karen Custard?
Yes. The day that I moved out.
Okay. Beat the baby with what?
With a bat.
A bat?
Yes. Her friend Cindy told me yesterday that she went over to the house. This man was beating Jordan with the belt so bad that she got in the middle of it and he was about to beat her up.
All right, and who said this?
Cindy.
Cindy?
I think her last name is Hardner.
Okay.
But all these people,
Do
I
you have
can.
phone numbers for these girls?
I do, but my phone is at home. But if I can get your card,
Mm-hmm.
I will be more than happy to give them your number and stuff. They are willing to all come forward. We can, when you ready to go to trial, we're all coming.
Okay. What's your birthday again?
4/28/85.
Okay.
So I'm 32. I'll be 33 in
All right.
April. It makes no sense to me, officer. The woman had not to been taking her meds. She's schizo and bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a reason what triggered you and that you're lying about where your son is. Because Mari Cruz
Where
says
did
she
she tell
last
you?
seen him a year ago.
When did you last see the baby?
When I moved out, April.
When you
That
moved
was
out
the
in April?
last day. I haven't seen him. I've seen, me and my dude, we seen Larissa walking down the street with her dude to the grocery store. I see every kid but Jordan.
Okay. Did you ever talk to her about where Jordan was?
Nope. I got messages. I text her son, Angel, the big one. I've texted Jake. I text everyone I knew of other than her because I'm blocked all through Facebook and stuff. I even asked Mariana, where's your brother? He's out of town. He's with his family.
Okay.
The kids think he's at a friend's house. That man just sat out there and told me his baby Tatiana thinks that Jordan is at his best friend's house. She's got stories and she's sticking to them and she's believing her own damn lies.
Okay.
The day that
You
you guys
know-
went up in her house, she was on the phone with Nicolina. Nicolina is willing to come up here because if you have her phone, you could see the conversation that she was damn near admitting.
What kind of phone did your sister have?
A touchscreen, I'm pretty sure that's all she always had was a touchscreen. Like I said, I ain't seen her since April of 2016.
Do you know what her phone number was, cell phone number?
Can't remember.
Okay.
You guys didn't have a phone?
What's that?
You guys don't
Well,
have a phone for her?
we found a phone, a brand, it looks like a newer phone in the backyard, but we don't know who it belongs to. So that's what we're trying to figure out.
It's probably her. If there's a conversation in there with Nicolina Grimmer or something like that, she spoke to me all night last night and told me when you guys were going up in her yard, she was texting her saying, "I'm done. I can't do this no more. They think I'm a bad mom." Like she damn near was she's confiding in Nicolina. Nicolina wants to come up here and see if you guys can have her talk to her because that's the only person she's confiding in.
Okay, Nicolina, how do you spell that?
Nicolina, Nickalina.
Okay, and last name?
Grimmer, something like
Do you
that.
have a phone number for her?
I do. It's in my phone though, like I said.
All right. So you'll call me with these
I
numbers?
sure will, because they all gave me their number. And there's a Cindy, a white girl Cindy. These are all her best friends.
Mm-hmm.
That stopped messing with her because of the abuse they were doing to this little boy. She even says she called kids on herself.
Who did?
Cindy called kids on her.
Okay.
She said the day she went over there and she saw him beating him with a belt, she left and called kids. Larissa's telling all them people that if I spoke to them, do not tell them how any of her and the kids are doing. They all told me this yesterday.
They all told her to say what?
They all told me that Larissa told them never to answer any questions about her and the kids to me.
Okay. And you said, do you think Cindy's last name's Hardner?
Yes, it is.
So the last time you actually seen the baby was in April.
In April.
Um,
And he was...
You did know her to abuse him at
Yes.
times, and you
All
did
of them.
see the one time back in April. What was it? April 20th.
Around there, yes. I can't remember exactly day because...
Why did he have a sock in his mouth?
I don't know.
Did he say something he wasn't supposed to?
That boy don't speak. When I lived there, he didn't speak. All he did... he had a habit of taking off his diaper and kind of doing gross stuff with it, like on a wall or whatever. But how does he know any better if you don't show him any better, right?
Right.
And if you leave him locked up in this room all day and not around his siblings, how is he going to know any better? Okay? They would beat the hell out of him for that. Literally. And it's not just him, though. Unfortunately, he was the one that went through the worst. But it's all of them. You guys have to get a hold of Mariana and Milton, the babies, one by one.
Mariana is where at right now?
Mariana is in a foster home. They got them all separated far away from Cleveland.
Mariana's how old?
Rodriguez, and she's 11, 12, 13. One of those.
All right. And I'm sorry, but I want to say, let me check one thing. And Mariana's living with who?
A foster mom right now.
Okay, so DCFS has custody
All
of her
of
right
them.
now. She's one of the 5 that they have. the older kids, Gilbert Martinez, 16-year-old.
He should be in Puerto Rico with his grandmother.
Okay. Milton.
You guys should have him too.
All right.
Bubba Anthony, you should have him too. A little girl named Mia.
Nevea.
No, Nevea is with her dad. He's had custody of her, but she just had a little girl named Mia.
Okay.
And then I guess she's pregnant again.
Yeah.
They all have different daddies.
Okay. So the other three, the oldest three are, well, the 16-year-old, the 19-year-old.
Angel.
They're with their
family.
Fathers.
Angel
families.
is with his daddy. Gilbert is with his grandmother.
And then Nevea is with
Dad.
Christopher Upton.
Yes.
Okay. And then the other 5 are in custody of children's
Well,
services.
4 because.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And she is pregnant again. Is that from Christopher?
I'm pretty sure.
So Mariana, you said we need to talk to her about what?
She should be able to tell you everything that goes on. Like she witnesses everything.
Have you talked to her since this all happened?
No, I actually, county worker is trying to get them to come in for a visitation with us. They're gonna set it up because they're far away, and they're split up. Me and my sister, other sister out there wants to get custody of them, so we're gonna do visitation, and I don't know.
Okay.
I know she's stuck in her head. I know she believes in. I guess the worker was saying she's sticking to her story too.
Okay. Now, one thing, the incident that you called the police was April of last year. April, do you think around the 20th?
Yes, it was.
And you called the police out to her house on West 80th?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, let me check one other thing and then I'll get you out of here, okay?
Is there any way we can see her?
I can see if they'll jail allow it, okay? All right. Oh. So just so I go over everything, just to make sure I'm pretty accurate, you and your sister used to be pretty close, correct? And you lived on and off with her over the years?
Yes.
You last lived with her in 2016?
Yes.
You were pregnant at the time?
Yes.
You did have a child that was born premature?
Yes.
And after having the child tested positive, and you were being investigated by DCFS.
Yes.
You are on a case plan.
Yes.
Okay, and then April 28th, you were moving.
Around there.
You were moving out of your sister's house.
Yes.
And you did have an incident where you called the police.
Yes,
and
I
what
did.
was that for?
To get me in the house
To get your property.
property, right?
Okay. And it was at the same time that you seen the baby with the sock in his mouth.
Yes, sir.
And rice bags in his hand.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you told the police about it, or just DCFS?
Just DCFS. My sister said she called them because I didn't call DCFS until I did. I moved out.
Okay.
So me and her called.
Okay. Am I correct in Karen Custard was living with your sister also at the time of that incident, and she witnessed this also?
And she even witnessed him being halfway dead in the closet.
And how old is Karen?
Oh, I think she's...
White female?
Yeah, I think she's around 35, 36.
Okay. Does she live in the Cleveland area still?
She does.
Okay. Then there's another female, Cindy.
Yes.
Cindy's last name is?
Hardner
Hardner.
or something like that.
And she was good friends with
Larissa.
your sister?
Mm-hmm. She gave Larissa a stove. That's why I don't know where the stove went.
Okay.
And then there was Marty Ruse or something. The best friend that she used to call Jordan her son. There's 4 friends of hers that's willing to come up and speak. Nicolina, Marty Cindy.
What's Marty Cruz? How do you spell that?
Mari Cruz. I'll give you all their numbers when I get home.
And that's her whole name, Mari Cruz? Cruz's last name?
Yes.
And how old is she?
I think she's only like 23 or 24.
And she's a friend of?
Larissa's best friend. She used to be a best friend.
And she's going to call?
Yeah. Nicolina was Jordan's godmother.
Nicolina, and you're not sure of her last name?
No.
You think it's Grimer?
Yeah, something like that.
Grimmer?
Something like that. I'll let you know more. As soon as I get home, I promise I'll call your phone.
Okay. And then Karen Custer,
yeah,
you told me about, and Cindy Hardner.
Yes.
Is also a good friend?
Yes.
Right. And you yourself are saying that on several occasions you've seen your sister be abusive towards all the kids, not just Jordan?
Not just Jordan.
Okay.
But when this man moved in, it was just Jordan.
Okay. So when he moved in, they were mainly, what was the problem with Jordan?
He just would do off the wall things, but he's a baby. He didn't know any better. Like, he can't speak or anything. But I thought, because when I lived there, I really thought he was going to get help because she enrolled him in elementary ADD school or something on the east side for like pre-K or something, okay?
It's elementary
ADD or something for the special needs. It was on the east side. But Karen said as soon as I left, she unrolled him. So I don't know.
Did she do that through Children's Services, do you know? No, she did it on her own?
Yeah, my sister helped her out there.
Okay.
It's shocking to me. Before she met this man, she took care of her kids. I think she whooped him, or he whooped him so bad. And I think that was the day he passed, July 30, or in July somewhere, because
We think he was still living then.
every one of her friends said they haven't seen him in a year.
We believe your sister did tell us that as being truthful as when it occurred. So we're working on that now.
So where was he for the
She's taking responsibility. She's taking responsibility for what happened to the baby. She's taking responsibility that she neglected the baby. She's taking responsibility that she should have got medical treatment for this kid and she didn't. She's taking responsibility that she should have called EMS that day.
So
And she's taking responsibility that she's the one who made the idea to bury the kid. She's being
taking
adult.
blame.
She's not taking blame. She's saying, I am 100% telling you I did these things. These are things I am wrong for and I can't live with on my conscience, and I'm telling you these are the things I did wrong.
So why didn't she just get the help that day?
That's
so we
worried
could
for
have gave him a proper burial.
Well, that's what we're working on. But just so you know, she is at least doing the right thing as far as those things go.
Never thought.
It's the two incidents from April 16th.
All right, thanks.
I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Both April 16th.
All right.
To let me in?
Hmm?
Is that to
Yeah.
let me in the house? Yeah.
Mm.
So it was April 16th.
Yeah.
That don't even make no sense. My baby wasn't born till April 19th.
Well, it says here.
And I moved out after my
Actually,
baby was
April,
born.
April 7th. Does that sound correct?
No, I'm telling you, my baby was born in the NICU unit.
What's that?
When my baby was born in the NICU unit, my baby was
And
born
when?
on April 19th.
Okay.
When I went to move out, my
So
baby
you're
was
saying you moved out on the 28th? Around?
in the 20s.
Okay.
Because I stayed 2 days in the hospital after the baby was born, and then I came home.
Okay.
Left my baby. I was going every day back and forth to the hospital.
Okay.
I don't even remember a cop. I do. That was for her son. The ambulance had to come and take him.
Was beating himself?
Yep, that was for her son.
Which son?
Angel. The oldest. Yeah. But that wasn't me.
Yeah, this was a different incident. All right. You're gonna call me with those numbers
Yes, I
and
will.
names of those people,
Yes.
and you can have them. You can give them my number. I'll give you my business card and
Okay.
tell them to call me, and we'll make appointments for them.
Okay.
Okay. If you think of anything else from now and then, give me a call and let me know. All right.
So she's just taking full blame. Nothing's on Christopher.
That I can't share with you. But she is taking responsibility for what she did wrong.
It's sad.
She knows she was wrong.
I mean, what she said, was she not on her meds?
And we didn't know she was on meds. What kind of meds she on?
She was on schizo meds. She was on bipolar meds. She was on sleeping meds. Y'all check the house. There should have been 100 meds in that house.
Okay.
And I can't see her, right?
I'll check on that now.